Hello everybody and welcome to Music and Art for All. My name is Daniel Castro and today we are going to speak about how to improvise. So what is improvisation? Improvisation in music, at least, is the art of creating something from the scratch, right? Taking elements, musical elements, and unify them in order to make something that makes sense. Okay? In music there are many ways of improvising, of improvisation. In the more recent period, in these last years, I would say in the last maybe 60, 70 years, improvisation is something that has been very related with jazz music, for example, and a little bit less with classical music. In the classical tradition, actually there was a lot of improvisation from the very beginning. For example, some of the old organ masters like Frescobaldi in Italy, and of course Johann Sebastian Bach in Germany, and the whole Baroque period, improvisation was something that every single musician was able to do, right? In more modern times, like I was telling you, is something that is not so much anymore related with classical music for some reason. Now, what is exactly the art of improvising in one style or the other, and how is it possible to make music from the beginning without having a concept or a pre-fixed idea of what you are going to do? Is kind of complicated, right? In some ways I believe you have to have the ability to improvise, but definitely there are also things that you can learn in order to improvise, okay? For example, with my students, I sometimes work a group of chords in which you can make an improvisation by using only white keys. If you take, for example, this group of chords, I'm going to move from C major to A minor to F major to G major. Okay? I play this with the right hand. Okay? And I play only white keys with the right hand. This is an exercise I do with my students, but look how interesting what happens. To be very honest, this is not my style of music, but it's just an example of how just taking 3 simple chords or 4 simple chords would give you the opportunity of just improvising something, right? Another way of improvisation is, for example, something a lot more free, right? When you are not thinking about any harmonic limits or any harmonic guidance. You're not thinking about any scale. You just literally leave your imagination and your pianistic, in this case, abilities go. For example, Some people would think that this is very strange music, but in some ways it's not strange at all. It's music that is being written already for more than 100 years. It's just simply that I'm doing it without thinking so much about exactly what I'm going to do next. In certain ways, I just allow this flow to come, let's say, through me, if we want to be poetic about it, and that's it. And this kind of music starts happening. The same I can do applying a series of rules. For example, you can, like in the first example, choose certain elements for your improvisation. For example, a group of chords that you will prefer. Let's say, similar to the improvisation I did in the first example, I will choose here, again, 4 chords, again, C. In this case I will do this. I will improvise with C minor, E flat major, F minor, and I will finish the circle, let's call it like that, with G. And after that, in the left hand I will only use the C minor scale and see what can happen. Very simple chords and very simple accompaniment. I can make it more complex, for example, by changing the accompaniment. Let's say if I use something like this. Same chords, same harmonic progression. Now, for someone who likes to improvise, that has already a certain level of expertise, you can combine not only a prefixed harmonic progression, not only one scale, not only one kind of accompaniment, but you can actually change all of these elements whenever you want, okay? And this is exactly what music composition would be about. If you have, let's say, an almost infinite number of possibilities to play with all of the elements of music, rhythm, dynamics, melody, whatever you can think of, the harmonic progression, the scales, etc., you can have really original music if you are able to combine to your pleasure all of these elements. I will try to make such an improvisation for you, and it will sound something like this in my personal experience. Of course, this is also something very beautiful about improvisation, that everybody somehow develops or is able to do something completely original from an improvisation that another person with more experience or less experience than me can do. This is also the magic of improvising. So let me show you what can be done using or mixing the most elements you can, trying to still maintain something coherent. I decided to stop here. I could go on for hours. And this is the thing, when you have many elements, musical knowledge that allows you, you could, through improvisation, have no limits. You can be very extensive when you speak about improvisation. It's been something limitless. There are just so many things to speak about and to talk about and to think about. And so this was a kind of introduction for you, but definitely we'll be making more videos on how to improvise, what are the elements that you can actually review, what exactly would be something that you have to put in practice in order to be able to improvise or to get closer to the art of improvisation. That's why I hope you like this video and you follow me for my next videos, okay? Thank you very much for watching, and I will be here waiting for you. Thank you very much.